Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. So today I thought that I would make a video about my little field note size book that I finally completed. So this is a Moleskine Cahier book, and I talked about this being like my morning journal and a book that I use only in the morning time, and one that I estimated would be done within 2 weeks or 1 month for slower writers. And I finally completed this book from start to finish. So the start date was January 15th and the end date was March the 17th. So I am pretty stoked that I finally finished at least one of my inserts for the first part of the year for 2022. So when I first talked about this book, I wasn't quite ready to flip through it, and so I thought that I would just flip through and show you guys like how I basically journal. And pretty much this is how I journal in all my journals. I just write. Some tips that I would probably give, especially if you are journaling, is to switch your pens and switch your pens often. Some people pick a pen that they only want to use for that time frame that they're in that journal, but I actually found that when I switched my pens, it made me want to write more, because each pen writes differently. The pens that I did use in this book were the Tulle colored gel pens. I also use the Precise V5 RT pens by Pilot. And I also used some metallic markers. So again, switching out some of the pens was a great choice. Now this is a Moleskine Cahier book, so paper quality isn't super great. So with lighter gel pens, you can get very minimal bleed through, but there is still going to be bleed through no matter what on the Moleskine paper. It just happens. But anyway, I pretty much just journal, and I didn't really too much write quotes, but I did write this quote which I really liked, and really that was one that resonated with me. But I've found that this was probably the page that I didn't like the most in this journal, is because this was so out of pocket for me. I really don't write like quotes like that. And another thing that I didn't really like is I had some decorated papers, more like journaling papers, that weren't stickers, and I taped them in, and I really didn't like that they weren't flush to the page. I do have some washi stickers that have real images on them, and I really liked those, but I did not like this 3D looking effect. So probably would not do that in my next one. I really did like the metallic markers. It gave the page a sheen. I don't know if the camera picks up on that well, but it did give the page like a sheen, and I really liked that. Also, it filled a page whenever I didn't have a whole lot to write about, because the smaller the nib, the more words you get on the page. When I do write, I pretty much just put the date and the time in which I wrote the entry. Sometimes I don't get to finish entries in the morning, so I'll write and then come back to them in the afternoon, and that way I can still complete my morning journaling. Really love the blue metallic marker that I used in here. I just think it looks so nice up against the Moleskine paper. And yeah, I really enjoyed this. This pen that I wrote with in orange was a cheap or knockoff pen, the Parku. They are actually really decent gel pens. I was sent those a little over a year ago and have been finding use for them with writing and journals. And then this one is probably my favorite spread because I love Friday. Friday is my favorite day of the week because that means that I get help with the baby at home. So for Friday, I just wrote a bunch of happy quotes, and a lot of Friday puns. So I am big on like jokes about Friday, especially adult jokes. Um, and then again, I really love this green metallic. I don't know how well the camera picks up on there, but there is definitely a sheen spewing off of the green metallic marker that was written, or that was used to write this entry. And yeah, I really loved doing this. This was the first time that I ever decided to do a morning journal. I've had several journals in life, but never one that I just dedicated specifically for the morning time. And I believe I would have been done with this a lot sooner than March the 17th. But having a almost 9-month-old who is very active and busy does not give me time to do a lot of things. And so oftentimes my hobbies and the things that I love to do get pushed off to the wayside. So that's primarily why I have not filmed a lot of the videos that I have talked about. Like, I film, but I don't get time to edit and I don't get time to upload. So a lot of times I just don't get any time to do any of it. So this book is finally completed, and I started my new one today. So I'm going to archive that one and jump into my new one. So again, I'm staying in this cover. I really do love this cover. It is so buttery soft. I get asked about this cover too now. This is a cover from a shop that I found on Etsy. The shop owner's name is Daryl, and his shop's name is Daryl Standing. Unfortunately, though, he had to close his shop due to unforeseen circumstances. Basically, he is from the Ukraine. This product was created and shipped from Ukraine. And so if you are aware, then they are going through some very devastating things right now. And I am just feeling for all of the people involved from both parties, because this is very unfortunate. But this cover that he created is by far one of my favorites. I don't know how well the camera picks up on like that, but this leather is so buttery and so soft and form-fitting. It takes scratches. It does scuff, but I don't know if you can see, but there's a sheen coming off of it. And that's pretty much because it is picking up the oils from my hand. So when I first got this leather cover, it had more of a suede look to it. But then as I've rubbed my hands across it and held it and carried it everywhere, it has definitely picked up some of the oils. I did mistakenly put like a red dot on it with a red marker, so I'm not too happy about that. And where the string knots are, you can see that there is patinaing happening. So yeah, I have no doubts that when this patinas, it will be a lovely color. But so far, I really love this book cover a lot. But anyway, my new book is another lined one. I was going to use a blank one to pretty much put watercolor and stuff in. The Moleskine paper is not superior. However, it's a little notebook, so a little bit of watercolor isn't going to kill it entirely. But so far, I am doing the same thing. Now with this one, I want to do something different. I definitely want to write and add more of like my art and stuff, because for those of you who have followed me for a while, you guys know that I paint and I draw. And yeah, I do a lot of the artsy stuff. I just never ever display it on here. But I do want to paint and stuff like that in this one. I still want this to be very much so just writing, but I want to add like some artistic images or my artistic touch to it in some way. So yeah, this is volume 2, journal 2, and I started this today. So I am eager to see how long it takes me to complete this, because the other one took me quite a while, and that all went into not being able to write and all of that stuff. So that is what's going on with that. Now, I have definitely been getting into journaling more, and you guys know I was going through an issue with my memory journal, and so I have sort of fixed that issue. I did order another cover for this. I'm just patiently waiting for that, a more neutral color. But I do have the Midori one day, one page in here. I even ordered the Midori fabric one day, one page. I have not seen any YouTube videos on this book, so I will definitely share that with you guys once I get it. But anyway, my Midori is a very, very good thing that I purchased. I am not keen on A6 books all that much. I mean, I love the Stology, and it was probably like the only book that I really loved in the A6 size. But once I got the Midori, the paper in this book is so much different than the Stology paper by far. But I don't know, it is a thin paper. This is thin paper, but it doesn't have that thin Stology paper feel. I think I would love the Midori a whole lot more, because I already love the Midori one day, one page for what it is. But I think I would love it even more if it was the same thin paper as the Stology, just in this format at least. But that's just my personal opinion. So I did go ahead and I set up my Midori, and I went in and I added, like my vellum, and I added my little year that I started, which was 2022. And I didn't do anything with these monthlies. Last year I did do quite a bit with the monthlies. I didn't do much. I'm not doing much this time. I'm just basically writing in the most important things of the month. I'm not doing all the other stuff that I usually do. And then as far as like memory, I started doing the same thing I was doing in my Moleskine, and quickly realized that this is way different than my Moleskine. So I've only done just a couple of days, but I wanted to share anyway. And so this is what it has looked like so far. This is my memory and planning in one. So I actually did 2 days for Thursday. You'd never know that I did 2 days for Thursday. So this is Thursday, and then this is also the same day. But I love this spread so much. Don't mind this clip. It is just there to keep my page pretty much. But I love this spread so stinking much. And I realized after watching multiple videos that people make videos about the book, but they don't ever make videos in pertaining to like using the book. I don't see many of those, and the ones that they do have are not in English. So I don't know if this book is just not popular, or if this is one that people don't talk about. But I actually really like the Midori One Day One Page. It's a very underrated book. Mind you, it's like the yellowish cream paper, but it is a very fun book to do all of this kind of stuff in, especially if you like this kind of thing. And not only that, you can even plan in it. It doesn't necessarily have to be all of these stickers. You can definitely plan in it. I haven't done it for this book. Let me see if I have the other one. So this is one that I used last year. You can definitely just use it as a basic planner without all the stickers. I'm trying to find like a simple spread where I did. So this is a very simple spread. Basically, you can just use it however, and I think that's what I loved about the Stology, the Moleskine, because the numbers, the timeline was so very small that you could barely see it. The timeline on this is very small as well. And if you are just writing, you barely notice it. Like if we flip to a blank spread in the book, you barely notice the timeline unless you are really paying attention to how the book is laid out. But I think that's what draws me to it, because it's a thick book for an entire year, but there's no dates, unlike the Moleskine notebooks, planners. There's no dates in this. So really, really, really love this book. Now, I did do a couple of pen tests in the one from last year. Ooh, I am so sorry. I'm so sorry. Wow. that really moved a whole lot of stuff. But anyway, so I did do like a pen test for this book, because I just wanted to know, like, the pens that I'm currently using, I wanted to know what works best on this paper. So, I use my metallic markers a lot. I definitely use them in Nostology and love the way the metallic markers look in Nostology. And then this is a Pentel RSVP, which is a very like straightforward ballpoint pen. And this is the pen that I've used in this year's book. So this red, here I'm out of frame. This red written in the calendar is the same red that is written here. And then these two are the same pens. I don't know if that is showing up dark or light. I'm going to try to focus it. These two are the same pens, essentially. And then these are my markers that I use. Basically, these second ones are the Ohuhus, and these ones are just like some off-brand knockoff brush pens. But I did this because I really wanted to see like what pens look best on this paper. Obviously the black ones that I own look great. The markers don't show a true color variation because of this yellow like paper, but it doesn't bleed through and it looks really, really nice, even though there's a slight difference in the color variation. So I like this book a lot. I've decided to keep the second one or the one from last year, because I want to use it more along the lines as like a tester for different things that I want to do. But anyway, really, really love this so far. And yeah, basically that's it. That is my whole little setup, to be honest with you. Now, in terms of like using this as a so this sequence is in here to be a personal journal, and then this is my memory journal. So in terms of like this and my Moleskine, this I'm definitely going to be using for my regular everyday personal journal. So what I don't complete in these little Moleskine Cahier books, I will take up my more in-depth personal journaling in here. And I don't think that I will share that, but that is where that will go. And then as far as my Moleskine, so I spent $20 on that Moleskine, and I was pretty bummed that I probably wouldn't be able to use it because it was falling apart on me. But there is a use for everything, I believe, and I'm going to repurpose the Moleskine paper by taking this book apart and chopping down the pages and using it as tip-in paper. Yes, tipping it into the Midori MD book. So maybe if I have a more extensive journaling day that this page is not enough for me, then this is where, like this comes in handy, using this paper and tipping it into the MD so that I get my use out of this book, because I want to use this book, but I don't want to use it in this binding and it's falling apart on me. I'm pretty sure that that's not common with the Moleskine books unless you're doing heavy use, heavy tipping in and all of that stuff. But unfortunately, this one just started falling apart on me, and I had to go to different things. But that is my update with my journaling and all of that stuff. I hope you guys liked the video. I hope you got some ideas behind it. And yeah, I thank you so much for watching, and all of my new subscribers, I welcome you and thank you as well. And current subscribers, I'm always thanking you guys. I will see you guys in my next one. Bye.